Bhavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nestiki. We are reading from Canto 4, chapter 15, King Prithu's appearance and coronation. Text 1. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, thus the Brahmanas and the great sages again churned the two arms of King Vana's dead body. As a result, the male and female couple came out of his arms. Text 2. The great sages were highly learned in Vedic knowledge. When they saw the male and female born of the arms of Vana's body, they were very pleased, for they could understand that the couple was an extension of a plenary portion of Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 3. The great sages said, the male is a plenary expansion of the power of Lord Vishnu, who maintains the entire universe, and the female is a plenary expansion of the goddess of fortune, who is never separated from the Lord. Text 4. Of the two, the male will be able to expand his reputation throughout the world. His name will be Prithu. Indeed, he will be the first among kings. Text 5. The female has such beautiful teeth and beautiful qualities, she will actually beautify the ornaments she wears. Her name will be Archi. In the future, she will accept King Prithu as her husband. Text 6. In the form of King Prithu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared through a part of his potency to protect the people of the world. The goddess of fortune is the constant companion of the Lord, and therefore she has incarnated partially as Archi to become King Prithu's queen. Text 7. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidurji, at that time all the Brahmanas highly praised and glorified King Prithu, and the best singers of Gandharva Loka chanted his glories. The inhabitants of Siddhaloka showered flowers, and the beautiful women in the heavenly planets danced in ecstasy. Text 8. Conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettle drums vibrated in outer space. Great sages, forefathers, and personalities from the heavenly planets all came to earth from various planetary systems. Text 9 to 10. Lord Brahma, the master of the entire universe, arrived there, accompanied by all the demigods and their chiefs. Seeing the lines of Lord Vishnu's palm on King Prithu's right hand and impressions of lotus flowers on the soles of his feet, Lord Brahma could understand that King Prithu was a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one whose palms bears the sign of a disc, as well as the other lines, should be considered a partial representation or incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Text 11. The learned Brahmanas who were very attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies then arranged for the king's coronation. People from all directions collected all the different paraphernalia for the ceremony. Thus everything was complete. Text 12. All the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds, animals, heavenly planets, the earthly planet, and all other living entities collected various presentations according to their ability to offer the king. Text 13. Thus the King Prithu, exquisitely dressed with garments and ornaments, was coronated and placed on the throne. The king and his wife, Archi, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like fire. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madai. Hare Krishna. So, Himanshu Prabhu, when are you ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, just give me a minute. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, dear devotee. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me an opportunity to discuss and for my own purification and for the pleasure of the devotee. And let me invoke the prayer. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Vijay, let me share my screen. Please let me know if it is visible. Vijay, it is visible.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can see.
Okay. So let me give the brief overview of last chapter, what we have heard so far. In this chapter, we are going to hear the King Prathu's appearance and his coronation as a king by the great sages. But what we have heard so far, let's a small recap what we have seen. So now we have seen like how King Vena was installed in the throne by the great sages, and after discussing with his mother Sunita, and as King Anga left for the forest, and then we have seen like how King Vena was so cruel, and he was so puffed up and proud. From his childhood, he was killing a lot of animals unnecessary, and he was killing the different boys and whom he was playing as a childhood. And he always considered himself greater than everyone, like he was considered himself as a god itself, and he was insulting the great personality. When King Vena was running the kingdom, it was just like an uncontrolled elephant, and then and damaging the whole society, because he stopped the sacrifice for a demigod for brahmanas, and then he stopped all kind of pious activity in his kingdom. And he always think like if someone has to do the sacrifice, he has to do for his pleasure, not for the demigod pleasure. So then Brahmanas and great sages, when they looked at the issue, they understood how the things are going. They thought of let's consult the King Vena, and then and we have seen yesterday Prabhuji has explained very beautifully how they consulted and they gave various things like how they need to improve upon what are the things King Vena he needs to take care of it. He should not stop the sacrifice and charity. So but King Vena was very puffed up, and he was so much puffed up that he insulted all the sages. While all these sages said, like, do not stop the sacrificial performance. If you stop them, you will disrespect the demigod. But King Vena isn't thinking like, he's everything and Sarva Sarva. He's Sarva Sarva. So because of his false prestige and ignorance, he thinks like, why he need to worry about demigod, because he claimed that king is the actual supreme personality of Godhead. And then he requested them to worship him and offer him all the paraphernalia and all the oblations. Um, and then sages were very furious. They said like, okay, let's kill him. And then they killed King Vena using the power of their mantra. And then we have seen like how Mother Sunita was aggrieved by this thing, and then she, preserved the body of the King Vena based on the power of the mantra. Then, as we Prabhuji discussed yesterday, as like there is no ruling of the king, what will happen? The different irregularities, plundering, stealing, like there is no all the irregularities started in the kingdom, and then Sage decided what next, what we should do. They think like, oh, now king, there is no king. King Vena has died. How can we, continue the dynasty of King Anga? Because they just want to preserve that semen, because that dynasty has some piety there. So then they start churning the body of the King Vena. First they churn the thigh of the King Vena, and then I think Bahuka, first person appeared as a Bahuka, and we have heard he is Nishachar race. Nishachar race, and we have heard in the Ramayana. And then that person, like this race is always indulge in the stealing, plundering, and etc. And then we have seen like how his limb structure is short-limbed, his hands are short and legs are short, his has a flat nose, and then he has a copper color hair, and all those things we have heard. And then he requested sages, what, how can I serve? So then he took away all the sinful activities, reactions of King Venas. And then in today's section we'll heard now sages, after Bauka left, then his king started sages started churning the not two arms of the King Venas dead body. And then it result, when they start churning, then result the male expansion and the female expansion out of his arm. So because sages were, we need to understand one thing here, sages were very learned in the Vedic knowledge, and they can do those things with the power of their mantra, that from the dead body, they could create the life there. And then here they removed all the reaction of the King Vena, sinful activity, because in the form of Bahuka, now purification happened in the body of the King Vena. So in this way, we can see like now king body got purified, and now male and female expansions are coming. And male is not, no more, male is an expansion of plenary expansion of the Lord Vishnu, who is nothing but a King Prithu. And then the female is also an expansion of Lakshmi ji, who is nothing but a Archie, Mother Archie. Queen Archie, who will be the basically both of these personalities are not a child. They are born as an adult. They appear as an adult, not born. They appeared as adult. So we have seen the similar thing in the Samudra Manthan Leela, when the demigod and demigods and demons were churning the ocean. First poison came out, and then after the poison came out, when Lord Shiva took the poison, then only nectar came out. Similarly, when we clean our house also, or we see like when we dust, lot of dust we'll see, but when we complete our cleaning, then only the floor and house will become clean. So when one start the devotional service in his life, by following the regulative principle, chanting the holy name, and following all the limbs of the bhakti, in the neophyte state, when he do that, so first, because faith will be there, and then bhajan kriya, and during the bhajan kriya, when he do all those things with the sincerity, following under the instruction of bona fide guru, and under the instruction of bona fide guru, and following all the with the submissiveness and sincere attitude, then person is anartha nivritti will start. And when anartha nivritti start, because heart is completely covered by the material dust of the material contamination. Due to that, Paramatma is sitting in our heart, but one cannot see the Paramatma in our heart. So that is the reason when anartha nivritti, when one follow the devotional service with sincerity, these all anartha will go away, and it is the longest stage. It's not a very small stage; it's the longest stage. And then when anartha go away, one come to the stage of the steadiness, nishtha. But for that, one has to be following the regulative principle and follow the sadhu, guru and shastra. And under the bona fide guidance and submissiveness and association of devotee with the sincere practice, one can come to that, attain that stage. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said like Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So he said like one can see the Krishna in his heart only and only when he need to clean his heart. One must clean his heart, then only he can see the Krishna in his heart. Because Krishna will be never seen by ones whose heart is covered by the dust of material contamination. And for seeing Krishna in our heart, for realizing the Krishna, that we are realizing our own identity, that we are part and parcel of Krishna, there is no other solution. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Kevalam. Kalau nashti eva nashti, nashti eva. Nashti eva gatir anyatha. So this is the only way in Kali Yuga that one has to chant the name of Krishna, holy name. There is no other process in Kali Yuga. Like in different yugas, we have different process, but in Kali Yuga, this is the process given by the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what we are following. Text 3 and 4, you will see. So now, text 3, male is an expansion of power of expansion of the Lord Vishnu, and Queen is an expansion of the Lakshmi ji. So Lord Vishnu, who maintains the entire universe, and goddess of fortune, Lakshmi ji expansion is the Archi. And these are the Shakti Avesh Avatar. All these are Shakti Avesh Avatar. These are most of the Shakti Avesh Avatara are Jiva Tattva, except the Ananta Shesha, who is also Shakti Avesh Avatara, but he is a Vishnu Tattva. And Shivji is also Shakti Avesh Avatar, but he's a Shiva Tattva. But like if you look about all these empowered living beings, there is a purpose of all these empowered living beings. Like if you see like Kapila Dev, the purpose was Sankhya philosophy to give the Sankhya Yoga, Prithu Maharaj for ideal king ruling, Parshuram for annihilation of the miscreant, Brahmaji for creation, Narada ji, if you look at Narada ji, he came here for a devotion. Brahmaji is a creator. So there are different purposes. That's why these avatars appeared, and they just perform their respective role and responsibility given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you look here, so Vedavyasa is also one of the empowered souls for compiling the Shastra. And here Lakshmi ji is an expansion of Radharani, if we say. And then from Lakshmi ji has many expansions, and one of them we can say here, Archi, Mother Archi, is one of the expansion of the. So in purport of this text 3 and 4, Prabhupada 3, basically, Prabhupada has mentioned, so today in today's 13 verses, we don't have many purports, but few of the purports are there. So one of the purports is text 3 purport, which we can meditate upon today if we can get a chance. It's a very small purport. So in Prabhupada is maintaining nowadays what is the situation, that's an unfortunate reality of Kali Yuga. People, materialistic people are trying to worshipping the Mother Lakshmi alone. Mother Lakshmi alone for the favor of their riches. Like if you see like these days, I mean, I'm talking about most of the time in the north, people are in Deepavali, they are worshipping Mother Lakshmi alone and with a Ganeshji. And then they're trying to always worship to favor for the riches and then, all the opulences what they can receive. They are not worshipping Lakshmi ji along with the Lord Vishnu. And we know that Lakshmi ji is inseparable of Lord Vishnu. And then if they are worshipping the Lord Lakshmi ji without Lord Vishnu, then they are not going to get the good fortune. Because one who is intelligent enough, he needs to worship the Lord Vishnu along with the Lakshmi ji, because Lakshmi ji is not going to come without her husband, like Lord Vishnu. But unfortunate reality of this modern age is that everyone is following the philosophy of Ramana, and like how Ramana kidnapped the mother Sita and separate her with the Lord Ram, and eventually what happened? It vanquished the Ravan, and he got killed by the Lord Ram. Similarly, if we follow that approach, and we only trying to worship for the benefits, from the goddess of fortune, then we will not gonna have the real meaning. We are not gonna solve the real purpose of bhakti. So that's not gonna last long. So because if one wants the material benefit, one should worship Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi together. And Prabhupada mentioned those who have the lot of opulences and riches, then one should use those opulences and riches for the service of the Lord. Service of the Lord. If one is intelligent enough, one can serve the Lord from his body, mind, intelligence, and from his opulences. If one has a good riches, so one can donate to the temple. If one is good in some skills, like in kirtan or singing, he can do the kirtan. He is good in instrument playing, he do the kirtan. If one is good in cooking, he can do the service in the temple and a kitchen service. If one is good in some IT work, he can do a lot of IT work of the temple. So one can do the service from the from his body, like praying, worshipping, and then also deity service, book distribution. There are many services one can do, but one can do based on his qualification and capacity. One can perform the services to the temple. So now, as we know, male is a plenary expansion of the power of the Lord Vishnu, who maintains the entire world, and his name will be King Prithu. and who expand his reputation, because he shows the Palana Shakti. He will rule the entire world. And now Prabhupada talk about various different incarnation in the text for purport. Prabhupada talk like Aniruddha comes out of the, he's basically a comes out of the, he's a predominating deity of the mind. Basically, he's a Aniruddha, when from mind, Aniruddha come from the lusty desire, Indra come. So that's what Prabhupada is explaining. Lusty feature Indra came. So Sage predicted here, like what King Prathu is gonna do, So they described about the future activity of King Prathu, that he will rule the kingdom and the whole world ideally. He will be the ideal king, and that is, because he is the plenary expansion of the Lord, empowered incarnation of the Lord. Text 5 talk about now about the Mother Archie. So Sage further prescribed the female incarnation, and then talk about the beauty of the qualities of the female incarnation of Lord Lakshmi ji, and whose name will be Archie. And then glorifies about the beauty, like her teeth, and how if she's getting beautiful, she's glorifying those ornaments what she's wearing. And then the king, all the sages predicted that she will be the future queen of the King Prithu. And text 6 is, there are two keywords here: Jato Loka, Redakshaya, and Anapayani. So here it's telling like Jato Loka Redakshaya means the person who is born with the desire to protect the entire world. And Anapayani means inseparable. So we know that one of the name of the Radharani is also that Anapayani, means Krishna's Anapayani is Radhaji, because she's always inseparable. She cannot be separable from the Lord Krishna, because not separable from her master Lord Krishna. And we can say like Krishna Anapayani Radha, and same way we can say Prithu Anapayani Archie is Archie. So in Bhagavad Gita, in Prabhupada said, like in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, whenever one see the extraordinary qualities or extraordinary power, it could be in someone. Either it could be a specific partial like representation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, could be a Vishnu Tattva, or could be Shakti Avesh Avatar. Correct. In this case, King Prathu is none other than Shakti Avesh Avatar, empowered incarnation. In text 7 to 10, we'll heard about the jubilation, by the demigods, Gandharva, and how they celebrate the appearance of the King Prithu. So in text 7, now Maitreya Muni said to Vidraji that now in the appearance of King Prithu and Archie, Mother Archie, that all Brahmana basically glorified and praised the King Prithu. Gandharva chanted the glory by singing, flowers were showering, and beautiful damsels, heavenly ladies were dancing, conch shell, drums, kettle drum, everything. Those sounds are coming from the outer space. All great personalities come in the disguised form from the heavenly planet to the earth. We have seen similar things in the appearance of Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu born, how the celebration happened in the house of the Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mataji. And also at that time also, demigods, Gandharva, Siddhas, everyone was offering the prayers. They are dancing. They are playing the musical instruments. And then Navadip city was like full of a professional dancer at that time. And people, lot of blessers came, and even demigod wives came at that time in the disguise form, and presented various gifts. And even that celebration continued after the Purnama also, like in the Jagannath Mishra's house and everything. Those celebration was never stopped. That's why we devotee always celebrate in temple and in our house also any appearances of Lord Krishna, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, like Lord Chaitanya, and even our gurus appearance days. We celebrate. That's how we and how we celebrate. We in the during the Janmashtami we decorate the temple, with the flowers, with the lights, and do the blissful kirtans. Invite various devotees to come together, chant the holy name, do kirtan, and then also opulent prasadam. We celebrate that those kind of festivals. It's kind of a festival. So that's how at that time demigods Gandharva was celebrating the appearance of the King Prithu and Archie. Now, text 9 and 10 talk about how Brahmaji came there, and then Brahmaji did not, believe, because Brahmaji is the master of the universe, because he received the knowledge directly from the Lord Krishna, directly. So when he appeared, he did not believe the words of, great sages that that King Prithu is the empowered incarnation. He just want to validate those things. He just want to inquire by himself. He just want to validate by himself. So here, so Brahmaji, as Brahmaji is a master of universe, similarly, a person, whoever is doing the Krishna consciousness, spreading the message of Krishna consciousness, like is a Jagat Guru, like our Srila Prabhupada, his guru, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They're all Jagat Guru because they are all passing the message of Krishna as it is, what Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has given. So Brahmaji, as a master of universe, don't want to accept King Prithu as an empowered soul incarnation of the Lord directly. He just want to validate that. And for how he verified those identity? By using the Shastra's evidence. He was examining king's hands, legs for a different lines. And he found that King Prithu's feet, soles of his feet has a lotus flower symbol, and also in his hand some lines, and also in the hands some disc signs were there. And post examination, when he completed the examination, he figured it out. Like, yeah, he accepted Prithu Maharaj that as a plenary expansion of the Lord. So Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, nowadays there are India is a God, God factory. Kind of everyone is trying to be God, proclaim God. That nowadays people are also cheaply accepting any rascals to be a God, giving the darja of God, like okay, he's incarnation out there because the government factory, and any rascal is showing some mystic power, and people are believing, innocent people are believing because of the lack of knowledge of Shastra. So any village, every street, you will see the God in India. And then because of the small mystic power, they are making a fool of these innocent souls. But we should learn from the Brahmaji as part of this incident. Then one should not accept anyone as a God. One should examine the identify based on the Shastra and scriptures and Shastra and our gurus, and then and accept accordingly, as Brahmaji accepted the King Prithu in this case. We have seen that such situation, like in the Lord Krishna pastime, like Pondrika. Pondrika was claiming himself that he was so envious, and he was claiming himself to be Krishna, and he declared that he is Krishna, original Vasudeva. And then that message came to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna started laughing, and then Pondrika was killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we need to understand the mark. Now let's talk about these symbols, the mark. So these symbols of the palm of the hand of the Lord, and these feet of the Lord Krishna were also there. Lord Krishna and Gauranga Mahaprabhu also have those symbols in his hand, and and we have the story, like when Krishna all those signs. So, like, when he was walking in the Raj of the Vrindavan, all these symbols, so all the cowherd boys, all the gopis were identifying the Krishna's footprint because of those symbols. And they never want to overstep those footprints because they just want to, they know, like, these footprints are where Krishna is going. They never want to overstep those footprints because they love Krishna so much. And then we know, like, how Kalia got saved. When Krishna was dancing on the hood of the Kalia, those footprint was imprinted in the hood. And then when Kalia went away, then Garuda did not kill because his lord, his master footprint was in his hoods. So similarly, in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya, when Mother Sachi, realized that baby Nimai has all the marking of the Vishnu's bottom of his lotus feet, she called Jagannath Mishra, and then they finally called astrologer, and then the astrologer confirmed, like, this baby has all the marking of Vishnu and on his hand and feet. So then that astrologer, claimed that he can only save all the three world, and child will preach the message of Krishna, every nook and corner. Then he will give the love of Godhead to everyone. So that was mentioned by that astrologer at that time. So these footprint, and then one should recognize, need to know, take the evidence of Shastra, and should not accept anyone or everyone as an incarnation of God. So one should be very careful following the principle what is given by the Lord Brahma here. And then text 11, 12, 13, now learned Brahmana who were attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremony. Basically, here they arranged a king coronation. Basically, people are collected all the different paraphernalia for the ceremony, and everything was completed. And then all the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, birds, everyone wants to, based on their ability, they want to collect various presentation and offer to the King Prithu. And then King Prithu in the text 13 talk about, and all these texts doesn't have any purport. And then the great King Prithu, extinguishingly dressed with the garment ornament, and then coronated and placed on the throne. And then king and his wife, Archie, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like a fire, because they are glorifying basically their beauty was glorifying those ornaments. And that's how king was coronated in the thing, in the kingdom, in the throne. So now next section we'll see like how various personality, demigods, different people will offer gifts and prayers to the King Prithu. And yeah, I think that's what I would like to pause here, because that's what I have to cover. Shri Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpataru vriksha kripa sindhu adevicha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnebhyo namo. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah, thank you so much, Himanshu Prabhuji. Wonderful class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.